Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at the BatChat 25T, the tier 10 light French tank. That was the first tier 10 light tank in the game, and originally it was supposed to be the only light tank in tier 10. Wargaming had previously said they didn't intend to bring any other light tank into tier 10. Now we have the Sheridan and now we have the Vickers. So where does that leave the BatChat? The BatChat has always been a good tank. It's always been a solid tank. The armor is actually okay for a light tank. People always used to see it as, oh my god, it's a light tank, we're going to HE. But it's more troll than that. The front plate and the turret is a bit more troll than just switching to HE. Nick Smith there wants to send me a message on Instagram. Hi Nick, big shout out to you. So where does this leave the BatChat now? It has kind of fallen behind. You have the Sheridan with the missiles. You have the Vickers with the turret that it's got, the armor that it's got, and of course it does have that not the premium Hesh, but the cheap Hesh, but it still has Hesh. So there is no. I mean, the BatChat's just been left behind. It's not that it's a bad tank. Of course, it's not a bad tank. But if you was to choose between the BatChat, the Vickers and the Sheridan, the BatChat will probably be your last option now. And I don't like that with tanks. I don't like that at all with tanks. Just like the medium tanks at the moment, Object 140 will probably be your last option because everything around it has been buffed and it's just been left. I mean, the T62A has been buffed and buffed and buffed, and the Object 140 has just been left. It's just been left alone to rot. And, you know, and this is the same with the BatChat. And it's a shame because the BatChat is such a good tank. Now, a while ago, Wargaming were going to buff the BatChat. So it has a 3-second intro clip. When this basically first come into the game, it was awful because it pretty much had no shells. You had enough shells to do literally 5k damage maybe, but Wargaming changed that. They changed that, and they were going to buff the tank. And how they were going to buff the tank is to give it a 2.5 intro clip instead of the 3 seconds. But they decided not to do that because they thought it was going to be OP. Now, they thought it was going to be OP, so they didn't change it. But yet, given the T62A more gun depression, even though it's one of the most accurate guns in the game, it has a solid turret, but yet they didn't sit there and think about the T62A, about the gun depression, thinking, okay, this might make it too OP. But yet they thought about it with the BatChat. Doesn't make sense. Now, I do hope Wargaming do buff the BatChat in any way. Either give it 2.5 seconds intro clip, or give it an extra shell, or you have making the higher alpha between 300 and 350, say. I definitely think they need to buff it because people are just not going to grind it. There's no reason to grind the BatChat if you've got the Sheridan how it is and you've got the Vickers how it is. If those two tanks weren't so strong, then of course the BatChat won't be as bad. And I do like the variety. I love the variety of light tanks. It's not like tier 8 heavies where you've just got so many of the same freaking tank. I like the variety in tier 10. You have the BatChat, which is an autoloader. You have the Sheridan, which is missiles. And then you have the Vickers, which is basically a normal medium tank. So I do like the variety in tier 10 of the light tanks. But just unfortunately, this just doesn't sit up there with the other two light tanks. Just because it doesn't sit up there and it's not as good as the other two light tanks, it doesn't mean in any way that you can't have a good game. Of course, you can have a good game in the worst tanks possible. all depends on how you are as a player, how good you are, and of course it all depends on what kind of team you come up against, or what type of team you have. So just because it does need a buff, which I do think it needs a buff, I don't think it needs a buff because it's a bad tank. That's the thing. I think it needs a bit. I think it needs a buff just to stick in line with the other light tanks. Some people may disagree. Let me know in the comments. Like, how do you think the BatChat needs a buff? Is it relevant anymore? Do people go and play it? How would you buff it? Let me know in the comments below. Would you give it more armor? I mean, the armor is okay as it is. I don't even think that's the problem. I would honestly maybe either give it the 4 shells or possibly 2.5 second intro clip. I mean, the T57 heavy, that got buffed to a 2.5 second intro clip, and it made it really good. So maybe that is all it needs, just 0.5 seconds off its intro clip. We never know until it happens. We never know. It still might be bad. But as I've said, just because I personally think it needs a buff doesn't mean you can't have a good game. Just like we've seen there from Eurosia. 7.7k damage. Of course, does lose a bit of credits because he had to shoot some HE, but fair play to the VK90 there as well. Over 7,000 damage for him. So next up, we have another BatChat game. Can't quite read the name at the minute. My phone is crap and I might need glasses. But he's going to show again just what the BatChat is capable of. And it is capable of doing dangerous things. It still has the speed. It still has the autoloader. And it can still pump out damage as long as it's alive. Just like any autoloader or any auto reloader, use your shells wisely. Use your shells wisely. Now, he is sat behind this building. Didn't want to poke out to get one shot, so he went for the full reload. Is it Flyer? So, good choice there. Good choice. Good decision making. And now, of course, he's going for the most dangerous target. The target that he can potentially clear, especially if he does get that HE. Very good game from Flyer. I can't even pronounce the name. We're not gonna worry about the name. So that's the Leopard 1 gone. One teammate of his is gone. He's going to help the AMX 50B. Unfortunately, doesn't manage to keep him alive. Can he high roll? He does have a max roll, and he does get that max roll to clear the WZ5A. So he's on 2 kills now. The enemy have caught base A, so they are at the moment, they're going to be winning on supremacy points very soon. But now he has reloaded all 3 shells. This ST1 just does not want to know him. Instead of turning around, instead of looking at the minimap, looking where the red team is, he's going to try and shoot a freaking VK90 from distance instead of turning around. Fair play, he's actually still penetrating, but wrong decision indeed, and he finds himself back in the garage. So that is now 3 kills for our guy in the BatChat. 3.7k damage. He's gone for the relocate. Is he going to get behind? He's going to get one shot there on the Jaegeru. Is the Jaegeru going to turn? He is going to turn. He has to be careful, playing it very risky there. Very risky. I mean, even though it does have some armor, sidewards against a Jaegeru is not the best ideas. But I love what he's doing now. He is going to relocate into a different position. The enemy are bringing it down to a 4 versus 4 now, and they still have base A. So this is going to be a very tight game. Very tight game. He's going to try and pick off the targets. Now, we know that there's 2 TDs up the top. He knows that there is also a Object 268 down the bottom here. Lovely little maneuver there. Tricks the Object 268 into shooting as he's going one side and then decides to go to the other. The Object 268 misses his shot, and now he can just sit behind the Object 268 and the object can't actually do anything. But he's doing the right thing. He is trying to back up, but I mean, the BatChat is a good tank. It's a quick tank, and he does manage to clear him. And it's just him and the T95 now against 3 tanks. But there's still a lot of hit points to get through. He is on 5.2k damage, and he is doing the right thing here. Even though he's itching to help that T95, the most important thing is to cap the base. There's the T57 heavy. Unfortunately, misses the shot. Can he get the second shot? No, he can't. Now he's going to go for the reload, and he has to relocate it again into a different position. Now he really needs to clear that T57. He's a very low hit point tank, and there is also 2 TDs that can do big damage. If any of the TDs has HEs him for a max roll, then he is a one shot and he will be gone. Fair play to that T95 though. The T95 has stayed alive for a lot longer than he should. With 3 tanks on him, he stayed alive for a lot longer, and he is able to get now that Jaegeru down to a 1 clip. So even though the T95 is gone, he did a great job, kept him there for our guy in the BatChat to do some damage. So he's on 4 kills now, and it is a 1 versus 3. 1 versus 3, it's going to be tough. There's the waffle. Is he going to use the HE? He could potentially clear him if he uses HE. But I don't think he's going to. Is he going to rush him instead? There is also a heavy somewhere. We're not quite sure where that heavy is at the moment. Oh, there he is to the right behind. He does get shot, and he gets a nasty HE from the waffle. He is now a 1 shot to both of these tanks, so he has to be very careful. Again, he is playing it very risky. He can only see a fraction of the T57, but he does manage to clear him. Now the enemy Jaegeru has recalled base A, so he now has to again think of something to do. He's a 1 shot. All the Jaegeru has to do is splash him in the face with HE, and that will be him dead. He is on 6.8k damage. He's still going to take 2 shells to clear this this Jaegeru, but of course this isn't the best of maps to flank around, because of course he was on the bridge, but with the Jaegeru under the bridge, he does manage to spot him. Now there is only 1 minute 27 seconds left. He's trying to bait the shot there. You can see again, very risky, and if the Jaegeru had the HE loaded, he could have shot and he could have been dead. But I love what he's about to do here. I absolutely love. He wants to go for the win. With 1 minute left on the clock, he wants nothing but the win. He's playing it very risky. Goes for the shot. Is he going to go for another shot? I don't think. I mean, he messes that shot up. He's got 1 shell left, but he is going to go for the full reload. And again, 50 seconds left on the clock. He has reset his camo. He's going to go for the speed, and he is just going to go for it. This is the kind of stuff I do, but I never get away with it. Now he's going for it. He is going for it. He has to go for it. The Jaegeru is looking. He gets a lovely shot in, but the Jaegeru just can't get his gun down. Very good play. And that is the kind of things the BatChat can do in the right hands. But I still think it does need a buff. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you think it needs a buff and how you would buff it. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye. With